Obviously, it's Slam Day, which is always an exciting one. We're doing 2x KO for the first time, and it's all duos. The coaches are probably a whole bunch of people that you expect. This Slam has been by far the most active in terms of like players running around before the event starts. I think for Street Fighter and Tekken, the coaches are like less Discord active, like they use other stuff. Whereas the coaches for this are all people who use Discord constantly, right? So here are our coaches for the event, of course, probably lots of familiar faces that you recognize. We got Cloud 805, Diaphone, Jonathan 10A. This is the only picture of him that exists. It's just his dog Lily. K7, Red Ditto, SQ, Super Noon, and Void. We got a really solid set of coaches, I think. I was giving the rules, the breakdowns to all of our coaches, and 10A was like, the coaches for this are going to be really active because we're all anime players. We have no lives. So we're just going to be in Discord all the time. So happy to help whenever. And I was like, that's right. And it's been true. They've been around all the time and it's been fucking awesome. Some sweaty gamers. Yes, Red Ditto is the TFT player. He's Grandmaster in TFT. So now is his chance to scoop up some of the TFT players we have in our brackets. So here are our players for the event, as you can see here. Lots of familiar and brand new faces, and some people I know a lot of you guys are really happy to see here. The coach thing came up and someone was like, where's Brawl Pro? Bro, he's ass at this game. You think he's gonna be a coach? What, do you want him to die? So we've got 5UP, Adrian Riven, Boger, BoxBox, Brawl Pro, Brian F, and Cody Schwab, the best melee player in the world, question mark. Lots of really strong players. I mean, Adrian Riven is literally challenger right now. All of our players in the highest seed, for those of you wondering, are Grandmaster and up. Second row, we got DeBuzz, Disguise, Toast, SK, Frodan, Fumi, Huntress, and I Heart Justice. He plays just the wackest characters in Marvel 3, and he plays Braum Teemo in this game. So yeah, that's a bit of an upgrade compared to his Marvel 3 team where he was playing Phoenix Wright, Captain America, and some bullshit. We actually have 2 Braum players in our highest tier. Next row, we have Infernasu, Kyo, King Nidhogg, Lily Pichu, Panunu, who, by the way, is Grandmaster. I think he was like pretty close to Challenger. He plays Braum Warwick. Pat Stares At, and Peter Park, which is great to have him in a Slam finally. He was almost available for a few, and then he just like had other stuff coming up. So dude, Pat played until 2 in the morning in the Discord last night. This guy was addicted. You may be like, wait, Pat, but no Wooly? Where's Wooly? Like 20 minutes after all of the people got locked in on like Saturday night or something, Wooly messaged me and was like, yo, you got the dates for the Slam, man? I would love to submit an application. I was like, bro, it starts like tomorrow. Our next row, we've got returning Slammer, and I might add, extremely impressive Street Fighter player, FDX, Raditz, Rip, Robin Songs, the TFT player, which should be cool to see, Skara, Shimada Tiger, and Shiro. Shiro is also one of our high tier players, for those of you who don't know. He was Challenger before, and I think he's like 600 or 700 LP right now. And our last 4 players, Shumimi, Stans, Saikuno, and Kenny, Unruly, which is great to have him. So we got a really sick roster. I think our players are dope. Everybody has been super active. I think the duos are going to be really, really, really fun. It's all duos. You'll have your newest 2 players playing down here. This will be like the first round. Second round, your newest and your middle seed. And then you have your seed 3, which is second newest, and your first seed, seed 2 and your coach, seed 1 and your coach, right? So it's all duos the whole time. You have 2 different people you have to learn how to play with because every single person plays twice. If you're a seed 4, which is the newest player, for example, you have to learn how to play with seed 3 and seed 2, which are the next 2 newest. If you're a seed 3, you have to learn how to play with seed 4 and seed 1. If you're seed 2, you have to learn how to play with your coach and seed 4. And then if you're seed 1, you have to play with seed 3 and your coach. You all gotta like figure it out together. Like, here's the thing, the coach won't even play if you lose the first 3. As the coach, you really need your seed 4, 3, and 2, and 1 to all put in some work there, because otherwise you don't even get to play the game, right? It's like the person that makes the most sense to not get a chance to play. And it means that the matches scale in order of power level in a way that like fits a little better, and the coach plays only with their 2 highest seeds, which is also ideal. Because before we had seed 3 and coaches, having like a player who was like goldish play with their coach against another one, we were afraid that the match would be a little too lopsided. Yeah, Juggernaut and Sidekick are banned. What do you think would happen? Is like every match with K7, he would just lock in Juggernaut Yasuo and then just be like, yep, what up? And then there would be pressure too. The coach could be like, you know, I'm down to play whatever, but we could could, you know, like play Juggernaut. You could allow me to play Juggernaut, you know, like that. It's like, yeah. Wouldn't that be hype if they win Juggernaut and still lost? But then imagine allowing Juggernaut and then they don't get to play the game, which is awesome. I love signing up for an event where you don't get to play the game and you're like, wow, that was awesome. What a great experience. I really enjoyed 2xKO where my higher seeded teammate played Juggernaut. I didn't play the game and I watched them lose. Come on, just think about it for like 10 seconds and you'll be like, oh, okay, I see why this makes sense. We have to think about teams. We have to have everybody fill out their team building form, which I'm gonna send them right now, actually. The teams are like extra complicated to make this time, as you can imagine, because each team is kind of like 3 teams or 4 teams or 5 teams or whatever. Like each team is 5 different duos. We get everybody's feedback on like who they would like to play with, and then their ranks and their preferences for like when they want to train and all that other stuff, right? And then we build like a heat map of the skill level of all the players and all the tiers, and then we plug everything in until we make like relatively similar teams skill in power and vibes. That's the way we build stuff. The teams will be decided on Wednesday or Thursday. We'll announce them. The first day of competition is next Tuesday. It's easy to remember because it's every 2 days, the 4th, the 6th, the 8th. We also have some side coaches helping as well, which should be really fun. I'll also be helping Diaphone's team this weekend a little bit because he has SWC this weekend. So me and Mystic Smash are going to be tag teaming to help coach his team over the weekend. And I'm also always available to help as well. We're going to do like a few nights where we also just host lobbies. I think you can have 3 matches simultaneous in the private lobbies. So 12 players. I hope the dog wins. Jonathan Tene did just win first attack like 12 hours ago or whatever, flying home, and he's typing in the coaching channels like, yo, what up? I could help you with this. We had like 800 or 900 applications or something outrageous. We were like, all right, let's narrow it down to like who we think we really like. And then we had like 130 people and we were like, that's a lot of people still, like, you know, that's 100 more than we could put in this event, right? So then we narrowed it down to like 50 people. And we were like, oh my God, I don't know what we're going to do now. So then, yeah, we just asked everybody. And some people actually couldn't end up making it. There was like 2 or 3 streamers that we asked about, and then they had scheduling issues. We had one streamer who was going to play in the event, but then they had like a hand injury, so we had to get a replacement. You know, some things like that happen. But the nice thing about having so many good applications is like, it's awesome if everybody says yes, but then even if they say no, you get to ask somebody who you would have wanted to see in the event. We always have streamers of like various sizes. I think that's one fun thing about the Slam is it's not just like, all right, go through the Slam roster and pick the 32 people with the highest CCV. You know, we try to pick players that are really cool from all kinds of sizes of streamer and also lots of cool vibes and people who we think would like do a good job in the event. I would much rather have someone who's a smaller streamer who shows up and does a great job than show up and like not really care about the event and then dip. There are the few EU players. There was some players from Asia that we wanted to have in, but we kind of had to make a choice between NA and Asia or NA and EU. And we made the decision for EU because we had more EU streamers interested. It's a little unfortunate because 2 of the EU streamers ended up not being able to make it. That was our like big consideration. The problem with Ketchup and Mustard is we couldn't use both. Like they would be a duo and they're too good to be on the same team. We would have had to put them on different teams, which would have been sad. How many Teemos are we expecting? Probably quite a bit, actually. A lot of people love Teemo. But watching Teemo at every other level besides the highest, he doesn't look that scary. VDX makes him look balanced, not gonna lie. That's great. You don't have to say it like that. Like I was saying it in a nice way, bro. You don't gotta say it like that. He's just a cool character, you know, and he's really good and he's fun. So yeah, I mean, you know, Teemo's popular, but there's a lot of like Braum and Warwick, and like it's funny because I think most of the good players I know, like the really sweaty players, don't think Warwick is that good. But everybody who's not like really sweaty is like, bro, I hate Warwick. He's so cheap. I think he's just like really annoying to deal with until you have a lot of experience with the game. If I had to recommend characters to the new players, if they're like, listen, I'm just trying to go win, I don't think it's Warwick. I don't think it's like any of these. I think if you're trying to go in there and get the job done, you lock in the Darius or the Alawi. Because Darius is really good. He hits 2 characters a lot. And just doing like LMH, S2 headless is like cinema against Happy Birthdays, you know? Did you guys see my clip? You don't have to worry about this happening to you. Get the mash. Perfectly done. Super. My super falls out because I killed his assist and Echo just tanks the super. There's 6 seconds left on the clock and I'm like, okay, well, Surely I'll be fine, right? And then I lose the game. I lost this set 2-1, by the way, because of this. I did the easiest possible combo because I didn't want it to drop because there's 2 characters. Like, are we for real? Why does he even stay on the screen? He's dead. I think they'll fix it though. You know what's dope about this game? Do you remember when you could burst and you were like plus 80? That was like 2 weeks ago, guys. And like life is so different now. Like if you boot up Guilty Gear Strive, if Happy Chaos bursts you, he still does curse and then he still pulls out the gun and then he kills you. And it's been like 5 years, right? If you're mad about something in Street Fighter, it has not changed in like 5 years probably, right? Or 3 years now or whatever. This game, like especially system stuff, I think, right, will probably get changed pretty quickly. Like this double like Teemo stuff, like you know they're coming for his ass. There wasn't an option of increasing the size like I did for the last slam. First of all, this is the increased size. This is 8 teams, but increasing to 10 teams or 12 teams is a massive endeavor because then you need 10 or 12 coaches. You start to increase the time for the bracket and the round robin and the amount of players that you have to onboard and teach. Like 8 teams is already a lot. Letting players enter with their own duo, I'd rather just like host a bracket because like what happens if someone's like, hey, I'm bronze, I'm new, and I'm like, oh cool, mark you down. They're like, yeah, here's my duo. What's your duo's name here? Your duo is Leffen. Okay, I've heard of that guy. All right, next person, like, all right, you're brand new here, like, oh cool, who's your duo? Wawa. Okay, yeah, Toast would show up and just be like, I'm bronze and this is my duo Sonic Fox. Just money falling out of their pockets, and I'm like, when it comes to like the event organization of the slam, we put a lot of thought into each part of it to try to make it as good as possible, and then people kick in the door and they're like, why didn't you do this? And I'm like, well, great example. Commenter here, depression, no NL. He wasn't gonna sign up, man. And also, it's not on me. Someone was like, why didn't you put Tyler 1 in the slam? Bro hasn't streamed in 2 months and didn't sign up. Don't blame me. Like, go ask the streamer. Who would you even put Tyler 1 with so that they don't just kill each other? Diaphone? Diaphone's like a normal man. You need like a drug addict to hang out with him to scream as well. There's like no one that I think matches that vibe. Northern Lion would sweep. Don't give him credit. You can't be like Northern Lion would if he doesn't sign up and participate in the event. You cannot be giving him credit for something he's not doing. You can't give him stolen valor as a slammer, okay? If he's in the event, if he entered the event, then we could see. Yeah, I'm a BJ slammer. Yeah, officer, that's me. Yeah, if you want to make like a fucking Legion of Doom slam, you're just like, let's get every evildoer possible and run an event. You're like, ooh, let's put the Sinister Six together on the same team. Like, you know, you let me know how that goes. The answer to almost all, like, why didn't you do X is like, if you think about it, then I think it makes sense not to. That's the answer. It's like, we thought about it. We're like, oh, I think that'd be a worse time for everybody if it was that way. And then we didn't do it. That's it. Can I cover something? This comes up every single slam. I'm gonna get hate, but there needs to be a cooldown. How many of these people were just in the slam? Were the candidates bad? I would rather watch a team full of newbies who are interested with a coach versus people who are already experienced, but that's just me. The key thing to understand about this event is that you should know how the event works before you give feedback about how the event works. The event doesn't have a team full of newbies because it's an event of people of various skill levels. We want players who are new to fill in the new tiers, and we want players that are experienced to set an example of how to participate in the event, but also to fill in the high seeds. We can't really do an event where like all of the players are just all new, because then there's no scale. How do you like determine who's going to be in what seed and whatever? Then you have no progression of like, this is the learning pace of players, right? Because that's like kind of the point of our Pro-Am event, is like a scaled tier of like players who are brand new and players who are like all the way up to being pretty close to the coach's level, but not quite there. And it's always been this way. This is like the way we've set up the slam since the very beginning. We have a nice split, I think, of new and returning players basically always for that reason. The concern of inviting new streamers is usually sometimes there are streamers who just don't participate, and the more new people you have, the more likely that is to happen. Why do people comment these things? Is because either they signed up and they wanted in and they didn't get in and they're mad, or their favorite streamer signed up and they didn't get in and they're sad about it, or they're like, I'm mad my favorite streamer's not in here, and then I'm like, did your favorite streamer sign up? And they're like, no. Why are you flaming the event if the reason you're mad is just because you didn't get picked? Like, just say, I wish you picked me. I'm like, yeah, I get that. Because you know how many people who are in slams right now are like, I wish you picked me last slam or the one before that or the one before. Like, there's like people who've signed up for like 6 or 7 slams before they get picked. It just, you know, there's a fucking million of people to pick from. 6, 7. Oh no. I went to the zoo in San Diego during TwitchCon, and there was just like an 8-year-old kid screaming 6, 7, and I was like, this is who is doing this shit.